What day is today? It's Tech Tuesday! Many of you ask me what audio equipment do I use to make my videos. Well, frankly, like camera lenses, I don't fix on one solution. Yep, I have many. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 options plus a short comparison with tips on when to use what equipment. Sounds good? Let's go! Hi, my name is Cheng. I'm a professional photographer and filmmaker. This channel is all about photography and, well, filmmaking, with a focus on Olympus Micro Four Thirds, since I'm an Olympus ambassador too. Also on techs and gadgets that help you get better photos and videos. Before I continue, please consider subscribing this channel and put on the bell notifications so you won't miss any future content from me. Today we are going to talk about sound recording. My master told me once that you can't have a great video with poor sound. So it's super important to get it right first. Unlike a photo, which you can adjust in post almost to your heart's content, audio is more tricky, and there's only so much you can do in post without professional sound editing skills. And I'm certainly not one, but most options I discussed today are almost ready out of the box, and you certainly don't need certificates to use them. Here are 3 of my current audio equipment for sound recordings for YouTube and my own commercial projects. The Rode Wireless Go, the Rode Video NTG, and finally the Olympus LSP4. These are 3 totally different devices, and each has its own merit for a certain type of job. Quite a lot of time when people say that this mic can do everything, and I simply disagree. Like lenses, there's no one lens that can do everything. If you need to shoot close-up details, you need a macro lens. If you want to capture something from distance, you need a tele lens. So why different in audio? So it's important to choose the right tool for the right jobs. But a little note, this video isn't a review for different mics, but rather help you decide which option is best for your needs. So let's go outside for a bit. One of the best options for content creators these days is to use a wireless lapel or wireless mic option. And quite frankly, they are quite affordable these days and they won't break your bank. The one that I'm using right now is the Wireless Go by Audio Expert Rode. Yeah, they're actually pretty good. And for the best part of the last 2 years, this little guy hasn't failed me once. So why do you want to use a wireless system? Well, of course, it's for its flexibility, which I will demonstrate in just a sec. But before we get into that, let me explain or remind you with one word I'm going to keep using throughout the entire video, and that's the word distance. I'm not talking about the distance between myself and the camera, but it's the distance between the sound source, which in this case my mouth, and the mic itself. So in a wireless system, the distance between the sound source and the mic remain constant. Doesn't matter how far I am from the camera. So that is irrelevant or not relative. So in this case, if I walk further away from the camera, you can see my sound level hasn't really changed because the distance between my mouth and the mic remain constant. So I can even walk left and right, it doesn't really matter, and the sound will also remain the same. If I walk further away, let's see, I can walk to the end of the garden and you can see that my sound hasn't really changed at all. There you go. So this is the flexibility I'm talking about. So if you want to have some sort of dynamic scenes where you actually away from the camera, actually quite a bit away from the camera, but you want to keep the sound level remain the same, this is the best or possibly the only option. Just like anything, there are some negatives associating with the Wireless Go, one of which is the audio quality. And don't get me wrong, it's decent, it's actually good enough for most of us, let's say for vloggers, YouTubers, or you're doing some live videos for instance. But you just can't compare that to a professional device using in Hollywood movies or some serious video productions. You can tell the difference in that case. And secondly, you can only connect one mic at a time. So like for instance, at the moment, I only allowed to have one audio source and not multiple. So if you want to expand your crew, have other people talking at the same time, you want to receive the same audio levels, you just simply can't do it. You just have to change the system or a system that will allow you to have multiple audio signals together. And yeah, that's the only downside for the Wireless Go. The second option I want to talk about is a shotgun mic. Well, this perhaps is one of the most popular. No, this is the most popular option for vloggers and YouTuber. People like Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat, iJustin, or basically anybody on YouTube will have a shotgun mic. There are different models and different prices, but comparatively to the wireless Go that I was using earlier, you will get much higher sound quality. The one that I'm using right now is the Video NTG by Rode. It's excellent. It has almost professional sound quality. Yeah, it's that good. But the downside, of course, is the flexibility. Yeah, you won't have that anymore because now it's a fixed solution. The actual mic itself is mounted on the top of the camera, and the distance is fixed now and relative to the camera. So if I walk away from the camera, my sound would drop, the sound level would drop because the distance changes. Basically increases, like you see, it increases the distance and the level will drop. Let me demonstrate right now. So at the moment I'm about arm length, so this is about the vlogging distance that what most vloggers would use. If I walk away from it now, so like my hand is not touching the camera anymore, it's probably about 8 foot away now, so you can hear that my sound is completely changed. And if I walk around as well, you can see that the sound is definitely changing. And now I'm at the back of the camera, and you can see that the sound is totally wrong. So if you want the best sounding quality, you really have to stay in front of the camera and really kind of maintaining the arm length distance for vlogging. So yeah, that perhaps is the only negative that I can think of for using a shotgun mic. Third, I want to talk about my favorite audio recorder, the Olympus LSP4. This little guy here is super versatile and professional. Why professional? Well, it is a high-res audio recorder. That means you can get studio quality sound. Bravo, right? And second, it is a audio recorder, so you can do what a recorder can do. You can take it to meeting, to concert, to anywhere. You can just record anything you want. And third, you can act as a shotgun mic. When I say act, because it isn't a shotgun mic. It has a digital zoom function that will narrow down to the center portion of the sound recording and just basically make it sound like a directional mic, but it isn't one. So if you go to a noisy street, it's still not going to be as good as a dedicated shotgun mic, but it does a really good job, and I use it for vlogging a lot, and you can hear the voice quality is very, very decent indeed. So what about the downside? Well, it's the same as shotgun mic, it's the distance, right? It's the same distance, remember? So now the actual audio recorder is mounted directly on top of the camera, and if I walk away from it, the distance changes, and that means you've got different level of sound. So if you walk away from it, you can hear my sound becoming smaller and smaller, and it's just not consistent. So for this sort of option, it's still the best, keeping the same distance. Finally, I'm doing this as a comparison. This is the internal mic from my EM1X. So, on paper, these mics are very good, they are high-res compatible, but just like anything internal, it can get interfered very easily, whether it's going to be wind noise or other ambient noises. So, unless you are very close to the camera or in a very quiet environment, it's never going to be very professional. So there you go, back to the kitchen. As you can see, the options are pretty clear, and ultimately you have to decide which one is best for the type of videos that you want to create. There are no right or wrong, best or worst here. All you want is something that works best for your needs. If I have to recommend a starting point, well, perhaps get the versatile Olympus LSP4 because you can pretty much use it for many things. Once you know which direction you want to go, get a more dedicated option for even better outcome. So there you have it, and I hope you find this video useful and you know what to do now. Thumb if you liked it, and sub if you love this channel and me. See you next time. Peace!